Okay. Hi. Hello everyone. Today I am super excited to talk about the topic how to feel young all the time. How to feel young when you're growing old. It is from my favorite book Ikigai. So when I'm talking about how to feel young, you have to literally conceive your brain telling that whatever your brain can believe and conceive, it can achieve. It is all in your mind. So I always say, first, if you want a happy life, when you want to look young, the first person you have to work with is yourself. When you work with yourself, you do that work as a reflection to others. So my first work with myself is my spiritual energy, because I believe my family is everything. So I strongly believe my family is everything. So the family I belonged, my roots, is a very beautiful family. I come from the South Indian roots. My name is Dr. R. Vijay Saraswati Pillai. I am the daughter of Ramalingam Pillai. So we are this tribe which is very close-knit. So we believe family is everything. My dad, his name was Subramaniam Ramalingam Pillai. He used to be exactly the way Ram is. He used to follow the principles so powerfully. He used to love his mom so much, and he will respect his dad. His wife was his life, and he will always say, the purpose of my life is that I'm living for my children. So that was the family I come from. So we were brought up with this love called family is everything. So then I was born in the year 1977. So I'm the last child. Let me tell you, I was not born by choice, but I was born by chance. My parents already had 4 children. I have a sister, brother, and my mom was least expecting me. Like she was going through a lot of pressure, because the house that they were staying, they were staying in a palatial house in Car Street. In fact, they come with a legacy of very good lineage. My father was a sober, a very beautiful man who used to love his family. Like I said, family is everything. I imbibed from him. But my grandfather, when he lost his family, that is my grandmom, he lost for a rare kind of disease where our stomach used to grow 8 inches longer, and they had to literally put it back every day, put belt and do all that it takes to keep her comfortable. So when she was 63 years old, she passed away. That was in 1973, and after 4 years I was born, 1977. That's how my dad named me Saraswati. And Vijaya Saraswati is very famous because my aunt came and looked after me, and her name is Visalakshi. So that is the reason we and her another sister's name Jaya and Saraswati. So that's how it became. My dad used to say, one of the biggest accomplishment I feel is naming you Vijaya Saraswati. That is, my mom is there with you. So this name is very close to my heart. So when in 1963 my grandmom passed away, my grandpa was devastated. Very, very nicely maintained. His education was very good. They had 2 children and my grandmom, that's it. So they had a happy family. When he lost his wife, and he was very young, very educated, well behaved, he worked for Accounts General Office, he didn't know how to go about. So to kill his time, he got into bad company. Then race was his way of life. every day he used to go to race. That's how it took him 20 years to lose all the properties that we had. My grandmom expired in 1973 and my grandpa expired in 1993. It took him 20 years to, diminish all the wealth that we had. The impact was not just the wealth. We lost our agricultural lands, we lost our home, we lost my grandmom's 100 children of gold. That was not the challenge. The challenge was the impact that it had on us. So my dad and my grandpa stopped talking to each other. My father chose the weapon of silence, so they were never speaking after my grandmom passed away. At least I have never seen them speaking with each other. So there was a trauma which was very difficult to handle, because when I was 5 years old, our house, which was so palatial in Car Street, in fact my mother's Lakshmi Silks logo is that Car Street chariot. Everything came down like a pack of cards. Everything was done and dusted, because my father was very keen to lead a beautiful life, being a sober. He didn't bother his brother nor he bothered his dad. He ensured that his family and his children were safe. He was working for BHL and he kept us with minimal contact with all that was happening in the family. So the 20 years what it took my grandpa, the first house what we had to sell, that palatial house, it was 1982. In 1982 I was only 5 years old, and one fine day suddenly the Amina walked into the house and all our stuff, it was a palatial house, so you know what kind of stuff we will have. All that was brought to the road. So suddenly we were told that the house is sold, because my grandpa was accumulating debt, taking money from time to time from the pawn broker. So it so happened that one fine day, all of a sudden, all of us are outside. We didn't know where to go, and it was raining cats and dogs. And my dad was crying. I could literally see him crying, but he told me and brushed away that they were rain, drops of rain. So that time I asked him, why is that we are facing this, Dad? We were in such a palatial house and we had so much of riches and all that, and suddenly we are down the lane. So my dad told me only one thing: Vijaya, remember this, if you have Lakshmi, that is your properties, assets, gold and all that, somebody can snatch away from you. But if you have education, which is your Saraswati, which is your name, if you have education, nobody can take it away from you. So you have to believe that your education is the one which will help you to lead a class life. So I was so determined that I have to do something for my family, because I was not even mature enough to know that why we are outside, what was finances. All that I could see is emotional drain. My mom felt all this is happening because I was born in August. I was born unwarranted, it was by chance. And then she was very upset that things were not working right. So she used to religiously practice all the superstitions, I would say. So then it so happened that she became a very closed person. In fact, she is a very happy person, to be very honest. But then losing the riches and suddenly coming, to from top class to middle class, I know it definitely hurt her. So she actually was very upset for so many days, maybe 1 or 2 months. And I was very young, and I could actually notice and observe this, that how events in families, events in life can break or make a person. So everybody told her, this girl is only 5 years old, why you should send her to a convent, why don't you send her to a government school? You guys all were so rich and suddenly you have to make your ends meet with only one person's salary. How is that you're going to make it? So this was the year 82, we lost the house, 83 and 84. My mom said, come what may, my children will go to convent. My children will have education. Like what my husband says, if it is education, you don't have to inherit, you don't have to give it to anybody, and nobody can snatch away that from you. That is your power. Knowledge is power. Clarity is power. The power of education is power. So I will ensure that my children get the best of education even in the midst of so much challenges. So she ensured that I went to convent. So my sisters were studying in St. Anne's Convent, and she went one step ahead and put me into a new school called St. Mira's Convent, where it was told that the education is much more better and individual attention will be given. So my mother was so particular that she started Lakshmi Silks. So I used to see her go to Surat in those days and talk to weavers in Ilampalli, Salem, and she used to bring the saris from North India to South India and also give our customers the benefit of loan. So you will be surprised, those days there was no phones, no accounts. It was very difficult to procure or have a marketing system. In those times, my mom had established contact. Imagine how difficult it will be to have a network. You didn't have Google Baba, but she built her business brick by brick. She bought saris from Surat, from other Ilam Pillai and all these places, and she and her team formed a committee, and she used to take 50 rupees from each of her customer from January to June, and then she will supply saris for Varamahalakshmi, she will supply saris for Ganesha Chaturthi, and it will be so particular that this is the sari that person will have, and if somebody books the sari, she used to keep it off for them, and every month they will be giving 500. When the whole of that 300 is over, she used to hand over the sari to them. So that was the kind of conviction she had, and she had a big fan following. Her business went from strength to strength. So she understood, what we had taken for granted was no more there. So the things that we had taken for granted, we had to pray for now. For example, we have never known what is house rent. We had to pay house rent. We had tenants in our house, so there used to be rent which was coming to us. So now that we have to pay rent and there is no other source of income, she was finding it very difficult to maintain the lifestyle that we maintained, because we used to have fruits, we used to have nuts, we used to have milk. She said, I am not compromising on anything my children were eating. I am not compromising on the quality of food. So what she did, she started a peerless agency. She partnered with Ravi Pickles, Madurai, and she started selling pickles. So this is how she built an entrepreneur in her. Because I was very young and I was only 5 to 7 years old, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That 4 years was her life of building a business. So in that time I was there because I was a very little girl. She used to tell me, go bring the loan amount from that auntie. You go keep this sari in the box. Go give this pickles to that third house and come back. So I was like a kind of dashboard to my mom. All that I wanted to do is keep my mom happy. So I used to run at one call of hers, and I used to maintain her accounts. I used to go and give the saris to the aunties what she says, and I used to go one step forward and do something to make my mom happy. I will write the accounts for her, or I will ensure I clean the vessels for her, or I ensure that I sweep the house, so that I see my mom smile. So she became the single most important person in my life, and this person was supported by one person called her husband, who was not even seen world outside his own home. He was so comfortable in his house. a special person, always studying, very sattvic, too much to himself, he will not bother anybody. So that person is sitting in a rental place and seeing his wife work, and he has got a rarest of disease called diabetes, which is not even the regular one what you say. Suddenly his insulin will come down and suddenly his insulin will go up. So, who was trained to inject him? That time insulin was not so very common. So it was an uncommon thing to do. But the doctor and the nurse trained me how to give injection to my dad, because we could save that 5 rupees consultation fees to the nurse that we used to give for her to come and support my dad with the injection. So that is when I learned how to save money. I realized every penny saved is every penny earned. I also realized the money which comes through blessings are the money which grows. When you give blessings, when you give your energy, when you give your vibrations, when you give your frequency to your family, everything improves. So that is when I realized, if you are a part of a family, if you love your family and if you support them and you're ready to do anything for that one smile you want to see in your parents' life, our family where we belong is always proud. So the first thing is, I want to say, family is everything. Whatever you are prioritizing in life, I don't know, but please prioritize your family. Once Mother Teresa was asked, what is that we need to do to bring in world peace? The journalist was anxiously waiting for some big theory to be, told, but she told a simple thing: go back home and love your family. When the family is stable, the country will become stable and the world will become a better place to live in. God bless you all. So the next I would love to talk about is this one, which is my favorite. Children are our most precious possession, property that we created, that cannot be bought or sold. Children are our most precious property. So why I tell you this is, see, the material things that you have can be vanished in no time. It may or may not stay with you during your lifetime, but you have the privilege of your children staying with you. Your children are the founders of your family. Because before your children were born, you weren't called father and mother, right? You got the right of being a mother when my first son was called. So I always call my son Abdul Hakim as the founder of my family. Because it's very important for us to take care of the family that we created. So when we have to take care of this family, first we have to understand the role that we are going to play. What is the role I am going to play as a mother? What is the role I am going to play as a father? Because once you have children, you have a common property which has to be handled by two individuals. Like I told you, very young in my age, I was into entrepreneurship and I was a proud child of Ramalingam and Lakshmi. I always had a feeling my parents are not very proud of me because I came into their lives when they were going through a crisis. So they had no time to take my photographs, or they had no time to give me that kind of care that they gave for the last 4 children. Of course, my brother who's in Dubai himself and me are the ones who got the least of attention that one could ask for. Because we have heard and we have been told stories that my sister who was born first, she was given a golden watch and a Cleopatra dress to welcome her into the world. But it so happened that they got so engrossed in bringing us in life. We had to make a way for earning to continue our living, which was very new to my family because things were taken care before. Not much attention was given to me, but then I ensured that attention I will give it to my children. I told the family which I create, the founders, those will be my milestone. I am going to celebrate their every success, their every milestone. Whatever they do, however they are, I will be thankful and grateful to Almighty. This was my first promise to myself. So when my son is in Australia, University of Adelaide, he is doing his MBA in Sales and Marketing. I have preserved his LKG, UKG, first standard, second standard, third standard books. So the other day my husband was telling, why is that you want to preserve all the books? The child himself has become an adult now and he will have children. I tell that they are the memories, like where I have signed that well done, you have done a good work, or he has written a comprehension or a poem. So now that he is not there, whenever I take his books and read, I feel very good about it. So I believe children are our greatest possession and we have to create memories. So when we create memories, when we ensure that these memories are the value that we live for, this is the biggest ikigai. Finding the purpose of your life. The purpose of our life is to ensure that our children are better than us. That is the best gift we can give our children. So I ensured that I am not going to give properties to my children. I made out a plan. See, I live my life by design. So that we have only one life. The moment we are born, we are walking towards the grave. So there is nothing in a caterpillar which says it will become a butterfly. So I wanted to give it a conducive environment. So I ensured that all my 3 children get 3 entrepreneur institutions, not properties. Because I don't want my children to be suffering or fighting or having differences just because of one materialistic thing. So I had told my son, when you guys grow up, I'll give each of you one business. That business is yours. Whether you grow it or leave it, it's your call. I am not going to share any property. I am not going to have any property. So you will be surprised to know I don't have a EMI. I don't have properties. I don't believe in having a big bank balance. All that I believe is having celebrations like this. Every other day you will find me celebrating big functions, big milestones, creating memories, doing programs, doing live with BNN. What am I doing? I am doing something which is notes which you can take when you go and look into this. Because whatever I'm saying out of experience and something which I've already done it. I'm not saying that I'm going to do this. No, I've already done it. So COVID came and all of us suddenly so busy we were and we had nothing to do. Lockdown. So what we did is, I took my children to Kodumudi, which is my native, which is my roots, and I made them stay in village for 3.5 months to know how simple a life can be with minimalistic living. We had 2 clothes, we had basic food, and we had to cook ourselves because till that time we were in joint family, 21 of us. All of them used to take care of us in my husband's joint family. So then, now that we are alone, I taught them to be very clear on how they can live a life with minimal things. So this is the time I ensured my daughter learned anti-aging and Ayurveda. How we can use neem, how we can use turmeric, how you can use hot water and then keep your body safe, when you should sleep, when you should get up, what is intermittent fasting, all that I used to follow. 8-shape walking, the infinity walk, the oil pulling, swishing, everything I taught her during this COVID time. Because she told me one thing, Mama, I want to be a dermatologist. So when she wanted to be a dermatologist, she was only 10 years old. No college is going to give her dermatology as a subject. So, and then with COVID, you know, children were putting their mics off, their video off, and enjoying the free time they had because they are children. Digital learning will not help children. So I had no choice but to teach them the real-time life experience. Because she said dermatology, I started Googling. Lucky we are in this digital varsity age where whatever you want to learn, you go to Google, you have lessons. So we are very grateful to be in this era. Then I taught her so many natural ways of making her face better, her hair better, her skin better. And now she is my consultant. You would have all seen me 6 months ago, and now there is a big difference because I am following the diet what is prescribed by my daughter, who is only 12 years old. I follow what she says for my skin, and I also follow what she says for my hair. So she is my consultant, and she is taking that subject so seriously that during COVID, she attended Clever RV, which is from the entrepreneurship cell of IIT Kharagpur, and she learned how to make Google Sheets, how to create an Instagram account, how to create a Facebook account, how to keep her brain powerful, because her mom believes in education. So I always tell that we should be a lifelong learner. So I gave her her niche. So she has her niche. Now it is the time for me to take care of my younger son. I have 3 children. So I have daughter. The last boy was only in first standard when the COVID came. So I was asking him, what is that you want to become? This fellow asked me, what is the most happiest time you had, Mom? I want you to become that. I said, wow, I wanted my mom to be happy and this fellow wants me to be happy. I told him the happiest time for me was when I was teaching abacus to my son. He was only 5 years old, and then I had to teach him abacus. So I was working with Infosys as a coach. So Saturday, Sundays I didn't know what to do because my husband is a biker. He does all lathe work and modifications of bikes. They do all, Yamaha will have one seat, and then the engineering children will come and for their project they will have one big cycle, big wheel in the front and small wheel in the back. Sometimes it will be the small wheel in the front and the biggest wheel in the back. Full of confusions. That's not my area of expertise, so I don't know. So this guy used to be busy during Saturday, Sundays. So I used to ensure I go and teach abacus during Saturday, Sundays. So I told my little son, my happiest time was when I was teaching abacus because I love learning. And abacus is a Chinese tool through which you learn addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. He said, Mom, can you teach me that I am at home? I said, wow, yes, that will make me happy, I can teach you. So that is how I taught him abacus during COVID. He learned all the 34 formulas. He knows addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. He is the youngest abacus entrepreneur in the country. He was even honored by exclusive world record, and he was also honored by Chutti TV. He teaches women, parents, children, all of them abacus. So I started for him Rahim's Amazing Abacus. So my daughter has a business called Fatima's Anti-Aging and Ayurveda. My son has a business called Rahim's Amazing Abacus. And my first son, he has completed his visual communication from St. Joseph's. So he is very good in his graphics, illustrations. He is very good in art. He is very good in photography and all that. So I started a magazine for him called Women of Substance last year. So I told him, see, when you are good at something, you should not leave that. That makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Ikigai is all about having a long and happy life by not retiring. You should not be retiring your life. So he said, Mom, I feel very nice when I structure this magazine, when I have the pictures, when I do the magazine better? I said, yes, we'll come back month after month. So in the first month last year, I ensured that, the magazine was published, and then we had a big party, and then it so happened my son also got a business. So my son has Women of Substance, my daughter has Fabulous Anti-Aging and Ayurveda, and my last son has Rahim's Amazing Abacus. So the founders of my family are settled with the business, because children are the biggest property. Don't give them anything that will make them fight. Let them go find out their talent, skills and knowledge. See, if Women of Substance fails, the sole responsibility of that is my first son. If Fabulous Anti-Aging and Fatima's natural therapy is not famous after 10 years, then she is responsible for us. Same with Rahim. After 15 years, if his business is not thriving and having turnover, it's not me, it's him. So I have given them a path. Why do we study? Why do we get educated? To become an entrepreneur or to start a business or go for a job and ensure that we are learning the money-making systems. So why don't we teach our children money-making systems when they are small? Now he teaches chess in the academy, and the first question he asked me is, Mom, is this child paid the fees? He himself is a child. So that is the power of entrepreneurship. So where I learnt and where I bought my children is the same way, but only the mindset differs. It is for you to decide whether you are strongly mental or mentally strong. Either way, the divinity in me bows to the divinity in you. Make your children co-partners. Have collaborative parenting. Never bring your spouse and your difference in front of kids, because that will impact their mind. Because you are the role models of your children. They celebrate you. They know you. Whether you like it or not, they will celebrate you only, you parents. So it is the responsibility of both the parents to have a balance and ensure that children are not impacted by the mistakes you did or the clever decisions and wisdoms you took. Either way, children should not be made a victim. So this is my second principle for you all. Your children are your biggest property. Think about their career now, not when they finish their 10th, second PUC and all. One more thing, if they don't want to do what they are doing now, it's okay for me. If Fatima decides to do something else, I'm okay with it. See, Rahim was doing abacus, and now he has gone to artificial intelligence. He wants to do artificial intelligence as his theme. He wants to learn all the new technology that has come. So he is the go-to person for us when we want to ask any prompt engineering for Chat GPT or Mayflower or Synthesia. So what I say is, you can start with giving them an entrepreneurship dream, but you don't have to worry about whether that will work or not, because every company you should think about starting with the exit plan in mind. So let's go to the next. So this is my favorite. This is called collaborative parenting. Two people do not give up on each other. That is called collaborative parenting. For example, my mother never gave up on my dad, because I remember she asking my father to talk to his dad and ask for the property or get it signed, or tell him that see how he is wasting all the property and all. My dad never spoke to his dad. My dad said, that was not earned by me, that is his own absolute possession, and I don't want to get into it. I'm only worried about my job, my children, my wife. So when he was saying this, my mom used to be so very powerfully supportive of him, that it's okay, he doesn't have to ask his dad. So that was the kind of support she gave. Because of her collaborative parenting, we are all well settled, we are all well educated, we are all traveling countries. Imagine if they both would have fought and they would have separated, or separated us, or separated the family system, or what we were deserving. Because what we were deserving suddenly became what we were desiring, right? So this metamorphosis This good to great was just possible because of that two people who didn't give up on each other in spite of losing health and wealth. Their happiness was seeing their children grow into amazing individuals. So the same legacy me and my husband followed. So this is a story of two people who never gave up on each other. I was telling you, my dad used to say education is the most important thing in life. So I had kept my time always for education, education and education. So in our system, most of the times women study only till 10th standard. After 10th standard, they don't go to study. Because we have a system of saying if a woman is married, she has to take care of the kitchen. So to take care of the kitchen, you don't need a big education. You should know to read and write, and that's it. Because my father used to say, the way you can get into a man's heart is through his stomach. If you are cooking good food for your husband, he will ensure that he is with you all the time. Because it's just not food. Everybody eats for living, and I live for eating. I prioritize my eating so much. So that is because my dad used to say those dialogues that food is the most important thing that you have to do in life. Because if you're not eating your food on time, if you're eating whatever you want, then you have to take medicine like food. If you're not taking food like medicine, you have to take medicine like food. That's what he used to say. So you have to ensure that you have right proportions, what is good for you, and all the taste and all that stuff. So my husband and I never gave up on each other, even though our food culture was different. We are different in all that I could say, but we are the people who didn't give up on each other. So when I was studying, when I had made my life studies as the most important thing, 10th is the last qualification you can find with our time girls in my family. But I was insistent that I want to study. I took 85 in economics in second PUC. I topped the college. Our resources were not that very great, so I went to government college, enrolled for Diploma in Business Administration from Giridhar Narayana Chalaram Institute of Business Management. The college where I studied, I taught. I studied so much that I took second rank for the state. So that much was my interest in studies. I used to love being educated because I know that cannot be snatched away from my kitty. Even though if it is your own children, nobody is going to inherit. Your knowledge is yours. So it's so powerful. So I was so engrossed in studies, we all had a group, we all had friends. So one of my friends was affected with diabetes, and she had needed assistance to go to college. So that is where I met my husband. In that locality, he was just in front of my friend's house. So when we met, he was already employed. He was doing his bikership. He was actually 10 years elder to us. So he was a very mature man. When I used to talk about I want to be really educated, for me that is the only single purpose of life. He used to say, if you are giving importance to one bucket of your life all the time, you are losing on time for all the other buckets, because we live life moment by moment. Whatever we have in the moment is the present. It is a present gift. That's why it's called moment by moment. Bhagavad Gita always says, live in the moment. So he used to say, why are you not even bothering about the other areas of your life? It's just not education. You have to concentrate on your personality. You have to concentrate on your purpose of life. You have to concentrate on something called design thinking. You have to design your life. You have to ensure that you live your life by choice and not chance. Because you are saying you were born by chance. So do you really want to live your life also by chance? So I felt this guy a little sensible, a lot of wisdom. So we got like fire the day we met because of a common friend, and then we were good friends. So when we were talking, he used to always say, I will always ensure that I put you first, because your education is the most important thing. Live the life the way you want. Do what makes you happy. So these are the sentences that you used to say. And I was thinking he is in cloud nine love with me, so maybe after some time it will all reduce. So we met in the year 1994. So from there to 1999, we were friends, and I knew this is one guy who will always support in my studies. Whenever, I was not very confident about me, whenever I felt that I can't do it, he has always been there as my dashboard. So these two people are the people who didn't give up on themselves. These are the two people who had differences of language, religion, caste, creed, geographical area, thought process, but then we didn't have difference of opinion because our emotional intelligence and our natural intelligence and our aura matched so much that we fell in love. So it was the year 9/9/99 we got married. So today is 9/9/23. We are stepping in the 25th year of our marriage. So again, this is the story of two people who never gave up on each other. So this is our story. You will be very happy to learn this story. I coined this myself. You are a spiritual intelligence. I am a spiritual intelligence. Why? People keep asking me, why didn't you change your name? You fell in love with a Muslim, you married a Muslim, Abdul Ali Muhammad Ashraf. 4 names, but my one and only husband. Like I said, from 94 to 99 we were friends. We realized that we love each other very much, and it is not something that we are just looking at it and we don't want to do it. We designed our lives. So when I got married to him, I told him my first concern. Even before marrying him, like when we were making plans to marry, because I'm a person who will meticulously plan everything. For me, plan is nothing. Planning is everything. So I told, see, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm born in a family where our roots is so connected to Hinduism. We are all Sanatana Dharma followers. And this name, like I told you, from where I started, this is a very important name for me because my dad lost his mom, and my dad's only favorite was his mom, and he always had that emotional bondage of saying that people can take Lakshmi out of you, but people cannot take Saraswati out of you. Now how can you take Saraswati out of me? I will not change my name, nor I will change my perspectives about spirituality. He said, see, we don't know what we are going to do, but then I promise you, you will retain whatever you are having, whatever you want to, because my purpose of life is to make you happy, help you do whatever you want to do, because I know you are a very convinced woman that you are determined that you want to become something in life. So I said, okay, we will get married. You will allow me to keep my name, Vijay Saraswati. But what about our children? What are we going to name our children? He said, forget about it. It's too much to think. Let us name them Kawasaki, Suzuki, Samurai, or Honda, anything. It's okay. So that was his clarity. His clarity was that we are going to be together come what may. These are the people whom we did not live up with. So he never questions my spiritual intelligence. I pray unity gong. That is, I pray to 11 different religions, which is so super powerful, because I believe Almighty is total surrender. It is only one religion that is very important that you have to follow, irrespective of any religion you are following or not, is humanity. Be a humanitarian. Someone asked me, what is your language? I told them love. Okay, you are not understanding. What is your caste? They asked me. I said, my caste is humanitarianism. No, you are not understanding. What's your name? I said, my name is Vijaya Saraswati, which means education. Okay, which category do you belong to? Which religion? They asked. I told, just because of my name, I don't inherit that religion. I have to study that religion to know. How many of us know 18 principles of Bhagavad Gita by heart? How many of us know in what situation, what counsel Krishna gave to people? How many of us know what is that one thing Duryodhana had, what the Pandavas did not have? What was the difference? How many of us know? So I realized we are not inheriting a religion, we are inheriting what we read. So reading became the part and parcel of my life. So I said I'm going to retain my spiritual intelligence and I'm going to explore all the other things what I'm doing. So in my 6th semester in Diploma in Administration, our internship master gave each of us a task. Like if you are a staunch Hindu, you have to do a project on Islam. If you are a Mohammedan, that is you are a Muslim, you have to do a project on Hinduism. If you are a Christian, you have to do a project on Baha'i community. If you are a Jain, you have to do a project on Muslim. And if you are a Muslim, you have to do a project on Buddhism. So all the religions. So what happened, we all of us made a team and we told we'll help each other in finding an accountability partner. That is, for me, I got the project to do Islam. So the only go-to person was Abdul Ali Muhammad Ashraf, the only friend who we had, who was mature enough, wise, and the one who can help me with the thought process or completing my project on Islam. So one of my other friend got Hinduism, whom I was helping her to know what Hinduism is all about. So here I am learning from one person and I am teaching my religion to somebody else. This is all happening not in Google. Google was founded in 2004. We all did our project in 1998. So you can be sure our project is real. It's a real research. So when I submitted my project, I got 2nd rank. I was so proud of it. Because I realized we all have one mom, one dad, one husband. We want, everything as oneness. We want it to be unique because our tongue print and palm print does not match with anybody. But then when it comes to God, we know there is one creator. There is one almighty sitting there. Maybe he is called in all different names. We don't know. So that's why I always say, Isha, Sai or Sikh ya Bai, all of us are Bai Bai. All of us, for the benefit of my international audience, whichever caste you belong to, whichever religion you belong to, all that you belong to is this universe. What you are seeking is seeking us. So don't bother about which religion you are. Bother about your practices. See, I love Buddha's practices of right values, right intention, right speech, right attitude, right efforts, right lifestyle, right concentration, right meditation. So when we do this 8 parts of our life, we are the spiritual intelligence. So that belongs to you. Don't inherit a religion. You be what you want to be. So I say our Father is our natural intelligence. Our Father is our natural intelligence means whatever genes we had from him. See, my grandfather was a very top class gene in education. My mother is a top class lady in education and entrepreneurship. But my natural being is from my father. I inherited this quality of soberness, determination, being on time every time, and having my life in tight packed compartments. All that I credit to my dad, who is my natural intelligence. Of course, my mother is my emotional intelligence because I have seen her emotional, breaking down from a queen to coming back to normality, to do ordinary things. But she is one lady who did ordinary things extraordinarily well. So now we are going to speak about our spouse. Our spouse is an artificial intelligence because you have to give a prompt to get things that you decide as an outcome. So if you decide an outcome of your spouse being good to you, all that you have to do is just the same. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, like Newton's third law. You have to give love and wait for it to get back. The other day I was telling my friend, and she was telling, I'm giving so much love, Vijay, you are not understanding. I'm giving him so much love, he is not giving back. I said, increase the dose. So if you feel that the love is little less, all that you have to do is, you have to contribute love. You can add love. That is when it can happen. So this is my life in one paper with 4 sentences, that I am a spiritual intelligence, my father is the natural intelligence, my mother is the emotional intelligence, and my husband is my artificial intelligence. So, which can be prompted to be what you want to be. So my first book, Women Impact with Love and Leadership, is all about you will be what you will to be. So where there is a will, there is a way. So this is our way of life. In specialization in EMBA, we have found artificial intelligence as the main core subject. So this is our life, and we are enjoying it and loving it. Thank you. So take care of the family you created so that you can take care and make the family you belong to proud. So today what I am going to do, because I am taking care of my family, my 3 children, I have inherited businesses for them and I am doing good to them, I am bringing the family which I am in to witness this 25th anniversary. Because we got married in chai biscuit. You know, it is not easy to marry a Muslim. Yeah, especially when you are coming from a background, roots where people are so very spiritually inclined to one set of community and one set of rules and regulations that they follow. So our marriage was full of challenges and people were very upset, and my parents did not enjoy, my sisters did not enjoy my marriage because I chose the man of my life and it was not okay for them. So that's the reason today I have invited everybody from my family, and the first time I'm sitting like a bride, because I have never known or I have never owned or don't have photographs of a bride. So my first son told mom, before we getting married, ensure you have your photo shoot done, ensure you have your 25th anniversary reception done, so that you don't have any regrets. Because when we die, the top 5 regrets of a person is, I could have lived little more happily, I could have done something phenomenal about what I like, rather than worrying about what the family or people will think. The biggest sad thing is, I should not have taken my life so seriously, or I should not have bothered what other people think, or I should have done it, I should have taken that one step which I should have taken. If I would have taken, my life would have been different. Life does not give you another chance, please beware. So whatever you decide, take ownership of that decision. When I wanted to marry Ashraf, when the whole world was against it, my dad stood by me and told me only one thing: if you marry him, it is your responsibility to make that marriage work. All of them tease me, you will not even be married for 25 days. But we are sitting here for the 25th anniversary of our marriage. Like I said, 2 people who never gave up on each other, 2 people who created a family, 2 people who are full of pride for the family that they have created as well as where they belong. And we are the ones who are following attachment with detachment. And we are the ones who say, to make your family proud, all that you have to do is, to make your family proud, all that you have to do is follow the path of Ikigai. Find out what is your purpose, find out what is your vocation, find out what is that one thing you are happy doing. Do what you like and like what you do. So when you do this, what happens? Your life transforms for better. So my principle of life is to honor unsung heroes. that is my mission. Like Steve Jobs says, do not settle unless you find your mission. So my mission in life is to take education excellence to the entire earth through innovative and creative teaching methodologies. So when I am taking innovative and creative teaching methodologies, I love meeting people. My network is my net worth. So what do I love doing? I love doing conferences, summits, congregations, panel discussions, book releases. So this is my first thing. I have found my passion. The second thing what I do is my profession. So knowledge is the power and education is my profession. So I travel far and wide. We have come up with a digital university system when the then Kapil Sibal said, virtual universities are order of the day 10 years ago. That is when we found out that the best way of learning is not only going to an institution and learning but also digitally. So we are in this market for almost a decade now, and I am working on the techniques like graphical visualization, guided imagery, psycho-cybernetics, multiple intelligence, repetition impression association, all this for years and years. I am a student of Dr. Francis Xavier, who is an acclaimed memory guru of India. So who used to run programs in these hotels, and I have been a student and I have assisted him for many, many years. So I take that legacy forward, and I believe your brain is the supercomputer. It's made of 100 billion neurons, and whatever your brain can believe and conceive, it can achieve. So being a brain guru, being a spiritual guru, because my husband allowed me to be who I want to be. So I always say, if you choose a right life partner, 90% of your problems is solved, because all the problems that you encounter in life is related to that. Even though we had so many differences, like difference of food, difference of community, difference of language, difference of opinions, sometimes we fight, we blame, but we ensure that we stick on to each other. So that is how we make the family which we belong proud, by allowing them to come and enjoy this time. Because we belong to different communities and they are different. One is the veg community, one is the non-veg community. One is the community which believes that you have to wear bindi, sari and mogra flowers, and my husband doesn't even like all this stuff. He likes my pant shirt, t-shirts, and going in the bikes, long drives and all that. But you have to don all the roles what people like, because it's your emotional intelligence that's going to take you far and wide. So if you have good friends, if you're not retiring in your life, if you're doing what you love, that is when you live a better life. So I spoke about my profession, that is my occupation and vocation as well. And more importantly, you should have effective communication. You have to design your life. What is that you really want to do to make your family proud? Whenever you get a chance, sit back and make a mind map. I have made a map in my life of how I want to live. So my son was born in the millennium. He is a man of the millennium, a 2000 born child. So I was always thinking, so when my son grows up, he will go for higher studies to college. I didn't want to be in empty nest. I always loved people. So 2008 we had Fatima planned. We had planned Fatima, and 2010 she was born. And I always know when Fatima gets married, Akim is always there. But then the gap was so much that she's still with me in school and the son has gone to abroad. So when he comes back, we will have a grand gala marriage for our daughter, and by then he will get me a daughter-in-law. So by the time, I get to miss Fatima a little. I have one more son who will grow up and he will also get his daughters. He will also get me a daughter-in-law. So it is a family, always I have people in my life. Because I believe if you have a close-knit relationship, if you have a purpose in life, if you want to do something phenomenal for your family, and if you have a little stress is good for you, because you are constantly moving, you are constantly evolving, you are constantly telling your mind, I need to be healthy, I need to be wealthy, I need to be happy. so that my family is happy, because family is everything. All good. So thank you so much for seeing the live. This is my 25th anniversary and I'm celebrating here at Bell Hotel, and the guests are yet to come. I'm going to have a great evening. Till the time I told you how to feel young when you're growing old. So this is my 25th anniversary. Do I look so? I feel this is my first time, the 25th time anniversary, because you have to freeze your age at 25 so that you are having a little wisdom, you are having a little power, you are having a little money, and then from there, whatever age you add on, add it as an experience. You will enjoy it. Keep 10 things that you have to definitely do in your bucket list. One is travel. If you are not traveling, you are not enjoying. Second is being happy. Whatever you are doing, be happy. Third is creating wealth. Wealth is just not money. It is your relationships, it's your family, it's your children, it's your skill, knowledge and development. So then also ensure that you save for your 1 or 2 months. Don't have a big saving, because nobody knows who's going to live how long. So whatever you're going to live in the bank is for the bank to enjoy. When you're there, you take care of your food, when you take care of your clothes. Don't be a miser when you have to buy things for you. You have to be a powerful person to buy things for yourself and have your ikigai. Maybe you have a different dream from me, but do all that dream in such a small period, because do not take permanent decisions for temporary life. Love, learn and leverage. That is one of the beautiful self-help book I've written. I'll be talking about that sometime else. Now that I've given you the insight of ikigai of how to feel young when you're growing old. Grow old graciously. Eat well, sleep well, have a little stress, have points on guidelines that you will make your family like this only. Okay? You can live however you want, but to live the way you really want is what it matters, because matter matters. So you need to be odd to be number one. Be that number, be determined, have determination to do something better in life, because I believe my 25th anniversary today is the first day for the rest of my lives. So I'm going to make it so beautiful for all of us who are in my close-knit family, that I make them believe giving is the new happiness. The more you give, the better you get. So you evolve, you love, you do so much. So thank you so much. God bless you all. I always complete my show by saying sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you and God bless you all.